team training. We are, I think, on part 4 of this series, working through our agency dashboard. We have a small team. I think we're under 7 people, and we've been building a dashboard, vibe coding a dashboard, or at least building it in this new way. We've did some shaping stuff. We went through and did like a task grid, I think, last week. And so I'll just take a second here and show you guys a little bit about a little bit what I've worked on since we talked. And all in, I think I've maybe spent 3 hours since last, maybe 4 hours since we last talked here. And I'm going to try to find, here it is, our dashboard. So let me share this real quick, and then I'll jump in with the team. Hopefully this will show. So we again, in recap, we did a whole like sticky note thing. We put that into digitized notes here. We've slowly just been like coming up with things to spend our time on as like with teams. So we framed up some different projects here. We talked about our process. You guys go to the old videos if you want to catch up on how we got this far. And it's good. We just kind of drew what was already happening already. A lot of times when you're framing stuff, it's just taking time to like shape the now process. Once you like figure out how it's actually working now, then the future state actually becomes very clear. But a lot of times we just want to jump to like, well, it should work like this, and we just go ahead and put this together of how it should work, and then we don't. But this is actually good and therapeutic to go through how it's currently working, and then we come up with a few versions of how it could work. And not to say like the thing we've built yet is working this way, but it helped get our ideas on paper. And so I'll show you a couple new features here. Let me share this other screen, make sure I've got this. Okay. And I'm literally deploying a version while we're speaking. So I'll see if this has got the latest code here. So a couple things that we did. I showed you the task grid last time in the Monster app idea that this is something that Ryan had created. And so one of the features we actually threw in here was to make our own task grid. And so this little thing that you see here is actually inside our dashboard now. And so every project will have that. We have like a little home screen. So you can actually see this one. I think this is a 1 week. Yeah, we had a 1 week project here. And I'm going to zoom this all in since my screen's a little big here. And this is the view that you would see inside the dashboard for a project. You can actually see the toggle time here. You can see like I spent an hour this morning on it. So maybe we're in like 15. I did spend a few hours yesterday doing a bunch of stuff, but 15 hours all in, got a lot done for that. So all of this has been built in this view here. We had a client project view where we could view projects by status. We have a clients by month, so we can kind of see when their stuff is scheduled with a few little tasks. Client security here, just making sure we match the right user to the right client. We added this task grid, was a little fun bonus. We added the team view, so that team view, like the team can actually go in and see their schedule, and we also have like their financials and stuff, so we can see earnings. And my screen just stopped sharing, so this is great. Let's try that again. Okay, cool. We'll see if that happens again. And then, so we did a lot, and this is only 15 hours in to this project. So every one of these slices here is pretty much like one work session, I would say. I added this little command palette today, so you can hit Command K, and we can now like search for a client. Like I can type Innovo and hit enter. Takes me to what's going on with that client. I can easily search for a project like new view, hit enter, jump to this project again. So these are super helpful when we're just getting in between a lot of different projects. Also, a great shortcut if you're building an app that you don't have all the navigation just figured out just quite yet. This command palette is genius because you can just get around to the thing you want to get to really quick. So I don't have like a good search functionality. If you were looking for a project, there's not like a list of projects somewhere to go and find projects. I'd have to go to a dashboard here. If the things were assigned to me, or if I pick someone, I see these projects are assigned to me, or maybe I could go to the client and then I could look up what that client was doing and then click into a project that way. But it's kind of hard to get there. So now just with the search, we can just type something like request pull. We can type in, a client's name like that, jump straight to it. So it's kind of a lazy way to do navigation. But also, I think most of us are using this at least for me, like I use it for Notion and um, Slack all the time. So this is a great little hack, I think. I think it took me like an hour to put that in. So also something we should definitely add to other apps. I'll show something as well. This task grid thing is a great little exercise in general when we're building projects. So let me go back to the new view here. We were using like a link to Ryan's tool. And this is kind of nice to have it right here though. So you can add a slice and I can just type something like, maybe there's a new view for like, maybe I'll do like a team member, like by status view. We have a client by status view. Maybe we'll do the same for the client here. I mean, for the team members. And you can just type things. So as soon as I hit enter here, it kind of just jumps to the next thing. And I can say, set up Kanban, whatever, add to like a horizontal nav. I don't know, set up, I don't know what else we need, parameters. And I'm not going to build it on this call, but you guys can see what happens is like I get my little total here, which is really nice. I can, of course, drag this box to the front here just since everything else is done and kind of keep it up here at the top. I can quickly check these things off. If needed, I can even drag something from one item to another, which is helpful. And you can see like once we check all the items off, this kind of fades away. So you don't really have to pay attention to that. And then there's other things here. We can mark unknowns here. So if there was a section of the project and there were still things that were unknown, it's a nice little flag there. We may add some more flags as we go. But these are it's basically like a whiteboard with just you sketching out things. When I'm building stuff, I actually typically have a piece of paper in front of me, and I literally just have like a heading and a couple bullet points, like checklist underneath, a heading, a couple bullet points. And so this is a great way to recreate that. And I think there's a lot of cool things we can do with this. Since each task is now in here, we can potentially have even assigning like tasks. If two people were working on something together, we could assign a slice to each other, things like that. So that can all happen. Obviously, you can mark as completed. I think you can delete something. You can also duplicate it. So if we had two very similar slices, but slightly different, like I have this project view by status for clients, but now I have like a project view for status for the team member. Maybe I can duplicate this whole slice and just tweak a few tasks. So hopefully that becomes really useful. We can still obviously jump back to Notion really quick, because most things, if we want to change the status of a project, we still go to Notion. That's kind of our source, and then it will sync back. And we have a two-way link now as well. So you can click on the dashboard there, jump back to this page, and so forth. So let me add everybody back on here. If you guys want to be on screen, you can. You can turn your camera off if you don't want to. And I think I lost my screen share again. Let me out of here. But yeah, I'd love to hear any thoughts you guys have. I think we may have maxed out the number of people on this invite. So let's see. Yeah, any thoughts? You guys are welcome. This is just open chat so far. Let me pull this.
Hey, is Command Palette live or is it just on your
local?
It
is live.
I'm trying to. What's the keyboard shortcut again?
Command K.
Command K. Oh, okay, let's try something else.
That's how we're gonna live beta test this right now.
Did you have to bake in the command palette, or was that something that just kind of you had already, Bruce?
No, it's pretty quick. I wonder. Yes, if I can go. Let me grab. I wonder if I can show that history real quick.
I was going to say, I mean, I'm not a developer, so I'm sure developers can say we love command.
Yeah, this is the process here.
Nice.
Let me get it.
I wanted to show having to hunt and click on things. So
yes, this is kind of a nice. I forgot how we can get like the full history here. Anyway, I'm trying to show the plan for this. I wonder if we can show me original plan. I wonder if it'll do that. It's like not showing the history, but I'll see if I can. Oh, here it is. Maybe There was an MD file somewhere saved somewhere deep in. I'll see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. So this was I just went into plan mode again with Claude, and we came up with this little plan here. Pretty simple. I think the prompt I said, I just spoke it out. So I used Talktastic as well. You should all use some sort of dictation AI tool at this point. Save yourselves, and it's very helpful and therapeutic again to like talk the thing out versus having to sit there and type it, try to be perfect. But this was pretty simple. We had some routes. We went back and forth a little bit because it wanted to use all the. It keeps Claude loves just writing and reading things right out of Supabase. It's super lazy, and so you have to tell it, hey, you see how like every other database call is using an API? Like, how about you do that? Like, how about you just keep following the instructions I give you? Same thing here. So I specifically asked for it somewhere. Like, I didn't want to use any kind of third-party thing. I think another app, we tried to implement this somewhere, and we used Algolia, and I can't remember what that. Maybe that was for Tribe. But it was pretty simple, and I was able to search for like keywords, a title of a project, a client. And then I committed that. So we went through and like, I don't know if that got shown. That was my ENB file. May have to delete this recording. If we go in here, basically went through like, I think we did, yeah. So there's the one commit where we just gave like the initial commit, like one component for the command palette, updated this, updated the route here. And then I added search clients, and I added some status colors, and then I added the ability to search team members if you're an admin. So those were like 4 kind of commits that made up that little feature. So I think that was the whole process for building that. I don't know if that was the question you asked, but that was for the process of building that.
I tried it out. I have a suggestion, a little improvement.
Yeah.
Is when in the command palette, like command enter should open in a new tab instead of like replacing the page.
So if you type like Anovo and then command enter, yes, that's a great idea. We will add it to the list right now. I kind of want to be able to also get directly to the grid. I mean the task grid, but maybe we should be like command enter opens new. Great, I love it. I'm gonna delete this. Yeah, any other thoughts? It's interesting because getting it live and then just playing with it, you kind of notice things. It forces you, like I opened Notion. Let's grab Notion real quick. When you hit Command K here, it actually shows all the results, and then as you type something, it tries to find it. I also noticed I use so if I hit Command Spacebar, I use Alfred on my computer. So I actually prefer this view. Sorry, I got like 2. So if I hit Command Spacebar, it just has just the input field, and then as I type like, something like Notion, it then searches for Notion. Then as the results get fewer and fewer, it shortens the box below it. But what was happening initially on this version was it was opening tall, and then as the results got, like the input field would like get more centered, and it would jump around. These are huge issues. These are the real problems. But it's just like these little things you notice. But just building it and making it work, and then just kind of playing with it a little bit. I was spending more of my time on the product, the almost the UX or the UI of. I was more the UX because like, hey, I want it to be super fast. And now that Lucian says that, and I want to pull this up, obviously that command enter makes tons of sense. We should definitely have that. I think you can do that in Notion. It's funny because these are things that you just do. You don't even think about it. Yeah, I think if I go like this and then hit command enter, yeah, you're totally right. That's how it works. So that's
it's the same for the EDA as well, like VS Code or Cursor.
VS Code does that?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were to open, yeah, you can open, yeah, you're right. Exactly.
One question: the task grid is being stored on Supabase,
Yeah.
but and like on the Supabase side, we have like a, let's say, copy of all the data, or for instance, like the Notion data we are getting only for Notion, and Togo we are getting from Togo, and we are not like storing it on our Supabase.
hmm
It's stored.
Is that
It's
that's
stored.
okay? It's stored. Oh, okay.
So
Oh, that's
projects,
interesting.
yeah, projects are actually synced. So there's a copy of the project, and then there's a project in Notion, and same with clients.
Okay.
So when the magic piece here is like when you're in the project connections here, there's a little edge function that runs every hour, I believe it is. And then there's a second one so one sucks in all the Notion projects, comments, and clients. And there's a bit of logic that it just looks for new stuff, so it's not bringing every single new project in. It has a way of tracking if something's synced or not, and it tracks it to the ID. And so then if you were to change like the name of a client, or you were to change the name of a project, it will just update there. And so one of the features here, which if you're building this from scratch, and especially if you were vibe coding this, you would just say like, oh, I want a place to like change the title of the project. That would be a mistake, because now you've created just infinitely more work for yourself to now change the project name here, but also be able to do it from Notion, and then which one like wins if they're like out of sync. So we made a very simple thing, like we're already in Notion. If I want to change this, or write other things or do stuff down here, I'm just going to do it in Notion because I'm already here. And that's why I've got links everywhere to open it in Notion. So that was like a little hack, but actually simplifies the product quite a lot. Instead of having like a two-way sync, it's just a one-way. But then we do have toggle time
Yeah,
tracking.
because that's very interesting, because then we are very close to being able to like basically have a cursor or Cloud agent to run tasks directly from the task grid and being able to update it, and like, so then we can kind of do the half wiggle thing, like that loop thing. We can basically do, hey, you need to loop in this task grid until everything is completed and until all these requirements are met, and then you will be just like overseeing the loop itself, and like reviewing the output based on what's getting in and out of the task grid. So it's very, very, very interesting. And like we can do like even stuff like for make this process better on the first moment, we could like each box, when we are going to like send this to Notion, to the agent, we could have a specific context that we attach it for each box. For instance, if I know that the task grid will touch on this, and these files, I already attach this to the box of the task grid as context for that execution. This way, when I send it for the model to execute, it will be able to retrieve the data properly.
No, that's and there's like layers of how that's definitely a dumb simple way to do this in like 15 minutes would be something where you could, like, one of the options here would be like copy for AI, and it just sucks up like all the tasks. It knows what thing got finished. It goes, whatever, and you just paste it into your
that's really good. You can like copy for the whole like task grid, and it's like markdown with the like checked boxes.
Just markdown.
But I got another like very simple request that would be powerful. It like ability to put like links in the like task grid like item, like a to-do item could be like a markdown ish, like in the backend it's like markdown, and it could be a link. If you like select some text and paste a URL, then it becomes like a link. Does that make sense?
Do you want to be able to like hyperlink to it?
No. I mean, like, let's say you have like one to do there, command plus enter opens new tab. Let's say you like highlight the opens new tab.
Yeah.
And then you like paste a link. that should be like become like the blue underlined, and
Oh, like if I was typing here and I highlighted that, I could hyperlink something.
yeah, like that becomes like a link.
Mm, interesting. And then you could, so if I had like multiple words, I could link this one.
Yeah, exactly. So that way, like when you're
Awesome.
doing the what do you call it?
Yeah, but then it can't
Like
just be an
Janata
input
said,
field.
like
Now you've got like a whole rich text editor.
yeah, well, it could be like scoped down to just like make it markdown.
What's the
Mm.
use case? Are you wanting to like
The use
link
case is
the
that like
motion?
Janata said, like when you're passing it to AI, two use cases. One is that I want to connect to like a Notion task where I'm taking like a lot of notes about a specific like to do. Another use case is that that feature that Janata was just talking about, like copy all, then it would copy like with the markdown, so that way the AI knows that this task has like a link to a page
Oh,
or something.
context.
Better
Yeah, I
context.
almost wonder if it's almost at the task level or it's at the slice level.
Interesting. Yeah, like we could like have the option to like double click a task and maybe add context for that specific task.
Yeah.
Task or something.
Okay,
But
so this is good. I mean, I think there's a couple of use cases for this. I mean, an easy thing to be like, hey, I need to pull all this in. Generally, it is kind of diverting quite rapidly into something totally different, which is, and I almost think it's a different thing, like almost like an AI, like I would just duplicate this whole thing and then it's just for like building the context for the project.
perfect. Yeah.
Because like
Context
I'm writing
builder.
like
Yeah.
Command Enter opens new tab. Like there isn't any way. Sorry, this is on one. It's in the wrong box. What did I do here? This should be over here. So part one, I was like, why does that even? Okay, so that should be over there. Like I guess it could infer this, but a lot of these things has like search client, search projects. Like I know what it is, but the LLM's not going to know what it is based on these like these little like tasks are going to be. So this is almost like a scratch
But
pad.
I understand your point, but we are getting close. Like I know, but it won't be able to know exactly, but it can read the context of the project. So if you already have like a users or a table that it's the same name, it will probably assume that you are talking about it, and usually it's going to be right. But I understand like it's complicated to like how much are we like, but I really like this idea of like having the context builder and like having this as a separated step, because it's actually is like when we finish the task grid, we kind of finish the planning phase in some sense, the shaping phase we finish with the task grid, so
Yeah,
we initiate the build phase.
I think it's like you build it out here, and again, this is, if only there was a way to breadboard this and see this flow, because we're kind of not going out of our. But this is good. I almost wonder if there's a way you can like click on this and say like prep for LLM or something, and it goes into a different mode.
How about I have a suggestion?
LLM like
you just add like a copy icon next to like the top level like task grid, even the higher one.
Oh, up here.
Yeah, it is. And then when you click that, it just like copies as markdown, like with each like
all of this,
scope,
all the slices.
Yeah, all, and then you can
That's
like
fine.
delete if you want.
Well, if it knows the status, like it sees this and it knows it's done, it can obviously skip that and go to the next.
Or just copy like everything and like as markdown, like a checked box.
Yeah.
One interesting thing that we could do, like it's similar to what Hippoprompt do. Can you see my screen?
I'd have to hang on one second. Let me.
Okay.
I got it.
Just wanted to share this.
We have a few things being shared at the same. Okay, let's see. Did that work?
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna stop sharing my. We may be maxing out. I think you can have like 8 people.
I can just screenshot it.
Hang on a second.
Also.
It's because it's on my side. Let me hang on. There you go. We should be good.
Whoa.
Okay.
We can do like the hula thing, like everyone
Oh my
together.
The wave.
There, I think we broke Restream. Okay.
I will send the screenshots on the team channel.
Sure.
uh, because it's like just an image. It's like because Hippoprompt has this idea of the context builder. So you write some instructions and you can select specific files and you can then run a discovery mode that will basically scan your page and generate a plan for you using less tokens than usually the model uses to generate a plan. So it's maybe something along these lines because it would be very powerful to like having a play mode that knows exactly the context of the code base, like having the plan agent to know exactly the context of the code base that we are talking about. So but yeah, very interesting. The future looks bright.
Yeah. Let's see if this will. Sorry, guys.
No,
Janata
no.
messed up everything.
That's
I had.
exciting. Honestly, like Janata should be like giving like more, like should be given like a training, with like planning better, like you're using plan mode better, and all that stuff. Feels like you're on the cutting edge.
Yeah,
So
like-
it could be as simple as this, where we like click here, we have copy markdown,
yeah,
and then it just pastes into like this. Sorry, and I think everybody's faces
perfect.
are over. Let me just go.
Yeah, on top, yeah.
Mhm.
Something like that. I mean, yeah, these are like quick things we can start to add. I think in this mode, since this is a great place to experiment, like let's just put things in here, like have the same little copy icon up here and just grab everything, all the slices at once.
Yeah.
Because you could say something like, hey, I want to work on this project. Here's the status or something. And then, of course, the other thing would be really easy to do would be to have some sort of MCP. So we could go like use the Lenovo dashboard MCP and just have it like look at what's going on in the, like just pull those things dynamically.
Yeah.
So
I have a
yeah, you
thought.
could do that. I think that would be cool. Because to me, the reason we're doing this, the task grid, is to actually separate shippable pieces or things that are somewhat separated, and kind of pull the project into small pieces. So that's kind of the value of the task grid we stole from Ryan. So I want to keep that. I do think there's a value in having a human separate things versus the LLM. Although it would be cool if you were working on a new feature and you wanted to sit in your Claude Code in the terminal and actually have it generate the first draft of it, maybe based on various screenshots or whatever. Then you could kind of reorder it. And I don't know, there's probably some like back and forth there where you can use it, but there's a huge value. I think something simple where we could like copy it and manually bring it forward and back, I think is great. I think I'm kind of in favor of this like really dumb version right now, because there's a lot of value when we're finishing a massive shaping session. Like we did go through this guy, and I think I don't remember where we shaped it specifically, somewhere down here, maybe down here. Once we get kind of clear about what all the views are going to look like, and typically if there's two of us on the call, creating the task grid is actually very, very quick. It honestly takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes to manually do it. But then, so it's a great way to capture specific action items now, like based on the plan. So I don't know, I don't want to lose that human element of it and outsource all of it to the AI. Although I totally see the value of like two-way communication, but like once you're back into coding. So we can play with it. Let's start with the copy markdown. Maybe there's even just like when you're hitting a new slice, you could just hit paste. Like you can like have the LLM create the markdown and just paste it and just paste it into like a slice here. Something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, say you do ship this out as markdown to an LLM, and then it's like working on some stuff, and then it does a couple bullet points. How would you then, you almost want to have it generate the new markdown file with the ones checked off, so you can put it back in here and not have to go through it and line by line, check out which task is done. It can kind of update it.
Yeah, generally as well. I'm doing like, to me, generally it's almost like a one task to one commit ratio as well. I don't know how you guys work, but I mean, and these are pretty big things. Like you can almost see, like I did, search clients was one commit, search projects was a commit, get the first setup. This will be another commit here. So maybe there's something in there as well. It's like at the end of the commit, we like update and that's where the MCP idea could come from, where it could maybe like just update it for you. Because I think this would be cool if you could also, if it was live and it was kind of live synced, I could have this up in one window and have Claude over here and be telling it, and then I could kind of zoom out and sort of see stuff literally start to like visually get finished. It'd be pretty magical.
Very satisfying.
Very satisfying.
On X.
You just like see this like dynamically getting like, multiple, like just jumping around.
That's what we're trying to maximize, is satisfaction.
Yeah.
But I do, I think we ballooned it into a completely different thing, but it is really interesting what you could do with it. Yeah, like what.
Yeah, I think it's good, and we can always, go back to this. Like, this would be a good moment if we wanted to just start here. This is how all always ends up with a little breadboarding something. We have like bear with me here. So we go task. And we also have a yeah, if you guys have any thought, I'm just going to do this while we're talking because I think there's something we can capture.
Yeah, I was thinking about, where to put where's like the highest leverage to put in like another AI like slice where we just like keep doing with the humans first. I think a big one is definitely like shaping current system, keep doing human like framing and keep doing like human like shaping the next, like what it could look like. But like for shaping current system, because there's a lot of times like unknowns, there's a lot of code to read and you don't catch stuff. So with like AI examining the code, we're able to like actually catch way more and to get like better shaping that we're not like missing anything.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like you do the first draft and then it would be great to like, hey, I want to build this task grid. Then we kind of kick that over to the sort of planning mode, and if it could sort of read out of here's what the initial plan was, then it could challenge those ideas and say, hey, here's 5 other tasks or edge cases you didn't think of. Oh, okay, let's go ahead and add those to tasks. Maybe then it goes from 4 items to like 8 items, and now I have a much better idea of all the things that needs to be done. And then we kind of get ripped through all of those things one at a time. I do think there's a good. It's almost like we have our process as well as a team. I think it's good to have even somewhat of a dialed in process for the LLM as well, to go from, here's the task. We go through you do one thing at a time. Don't try to build all 8 things at once. I mean, you could, but like one at a time, check it. We're doing verification at each step, and then we commit things for every step. And maybe we have we could use the Cloud Skills as well to have a way where it can like, hey, it knows that we need to go find this project. You'd have like, it's not a one-to-one match of like this project is matched to one repo. It's like we just have to have a way to connect like this to the Innovo dashboard repo, but there could be 10 other projects similar that also connect to the same repo. So I don't know how that piece would work, but to me, it's almost
like connect the client to a repo. So if a project is from a client, then it's to that repo. Unless some client, we're assuming that each client only has one repo.
In some cases it doesn't. It has more than one. Yeah. So like if we're going to try, we're going to have 2 repos for the same project. So it breaks down quick. But I do think I think if you had an MCP where it went and grabbed like had even a wizard that was like, is this for this client? Oh, this client. Well, then you just like search for what the project is, or some way to connect. Like I'm working on, like specifically, like we give it exactly that name, and then it can go and pull tasks based on the name or something. I don't know. It has to be something like that. But the other thing we didn't talk about, this was all getting it from the LLM back here. Like I was thinking all of you guys would be very interested in getting it from here and back into Notion. But since that's not like the first thing you all thought of, I think we skipped that.
You can just copy the link.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, very good. Okay, so we have the other thing I have is a little, if you guys are, I know we looked at this for like the team stuff here. And so I have this little like privacy mode. So like any dollar amounts here, if you go to any of our other screens, it puts the whole thing into privacy mode and everything gets blurred, which makes it quite nice for demos. So the other feature here, if you guys have, you can go in and set your availability here. So you can click in and set the availability for upcoming months of how many weeks you want to spend or work. And then we can start to predict, fill in those projects moving forward. We can try to go a few months in the future. And this should help like clear up some confusion and stuff. If there's like debate on which month something's happening, was it 1 week, was it 2 weeks, what's the date of when to expect this? It does actually have the date of which payments coming when and amounts and all that. So should be helpful there. So, and I'll add some more screens, maybe the status one and other things, but I don't know if there's any other thoughts between you guys, if you had looked at this yet.
One question. On the Supabase, there is sensitive data, or can we have access to the database?
We can have. I think it needs to be through like something controlled, like the API or the MCP.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
No, I mean like the Supabase project itself. Like I don't have access to it. I'm not sure if we are supposed to. Yeah. Okay.
Top secret.
Just because I wanted to play a bit with it during the next 2 days.
I think I need to, one of the things I was going to do is make like a beta version of it, so we could hack it a little bit and then not have to worry about breaking something.
Yeah, because I think like I can I can run like Supabase locally, so I can make all the changes and like once it's good to go, I can deploy it to production. But I wanted to play around with it a little bit.
Yeah, I think I was going to experiment with the MCP stuff first to see if we could go and basically access the entire app from your terminal, or let Claude access the app, because then we can have kind of a controlled way that they can like update tasks, but maybe they can't delete projects, for example, or have some security around it. So that was kind of my next thing, was to play with that. But
yeah, definitely do the beta thing, because like given access to like us, especially Janata, I think you'll like build crazy stuff.
It's like you guys don't think you have enough work to do.
There's always space for a new side project.
Here's the thing. Okay, here's my thing. I do think it's extremely valuable for every single one of you to have some side project to be working on, because it is insanely freeing to just be able to make these types of decisions and try stuff. Because when we're working with clients, we're in this extremely like cautious, line by line, can't get anything wrong, don't want to break, production. But like if I hack with LM and change those edge functions all the time, and they just run and they update 500 projects. And like, if we do, like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, I accidentally delete them all in Notion. Maybe I know that's the worst thing. I can restore them, but I don't know. Like, it gives you a lot of flexibility to play with it. So I highly recommend having something, and just lets you like experiment. Cause I've learned a lot here that I'm now like, when I go work on Tribe, I'm like thinking of things a little differently. Like, we should have a command palette in Tribe. Like, that should be like a 1 hour reactive task. You can just, quickly jump to a user or jump to like a group or a course or something. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was so simple. And then once you add it, you're like, oh wow, this turns it like for the power users, it's just like a game changer for power users.
Totally.
So,
That's actually a great idea for we can add it to reactive and I can take a look. Like
yeah,
I have I have some stuff to finish first, but I can take a look.
nice, awesome.
Um, great,
That's
great.
it. Any
One
other thoughts?
what
Yeah.
just one comment. Nothing. It's not very related, but it's something interesting that I learned regarding like this automation processes. It's like I was having a issue with Tribe today earlier, where specifically the deployed version by CodeMagic was crashing and getting stuck on the launch screen. But this was not happening on the debug mode, and this was for a very specific way that Firebase starts the project. But that's not the point. The point is that the way I fixed it was by allowing Cloud Code to connect with the Chrome console using the Puppeteer. So this way, I basically said to Cloud, hey, iterate over this project until this error is not a thing anymore, because every interaction needed to generate a build release and serve it locally on my local host, because it was the release mode that was the problem. And I had to, and the debugging process was basically like generating the release, open it, seeing the Chrome console, and making the changes according to what I was seeing. And what I did was I basically said, hey, now you can see the console yourself. So iterate over this until this is ready for me to test. And this took this made my time a little bit better fixing this. So very interesting stuff. I didn't heard about it before. It's called Puppeteer.
yeah.
I did
That sounds great.
but it's very, very interesting.
I could definitely use
So you
that
just
too.
had like the AI like run the build command, and then like it waits for the build command to complete, and then it runs like
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
It waits, then it runs
Like
open
fully
Chrome with the
autonomous
Puppeteer
on
connect.
that like specific task. That's
Fully autonomous. Yeah, it opened the Chrome, tested, saw it what with the problem, closed it, come back, made it the iteration, open Chrome again, and did this for like 4 or 5 times until it reached a point where the app loaded, and I was like, man, that's crazy. That's impressive.
You can also use Playwright. I think a similar concept.
Yeah, I think it's
I've done that
similar.
before, because if you have UI bugs, it can basically, it takes like a screenshot, or it will navigate like log in, go to this page, click on this thing, look at the screenshot,
Yeah.
analyze it. It kind of gets in a little feedback loop like that.
And do you try it with a Flutter app, the Playwright?
I'm trying to remember what I use.
Because I'm not sure if it will
It's probably
find,
a
because
Next.js.
the Flutter doesn't have the DOM. Yeah, we have like just the canvas, so we don't have the HTML components for the Playwright to navigate. So I'm not sure if it will navigate properly. But that's one of the problems with AI and Flutter, like not having the DOM. It's cool, but it's like for some stuff, but for this point specific, it's very noisy, because all the AI sees is just like a bunch of unreadable code. But yeah.
That's why we send all the Flutter projects to you, Janata.
Thank you.
Sweet.
I'm thankful for the difficulty of using Canva in Flutter.
Awesome. Well, we'll probably get back to like some other training. I think this is probably good on the agency dashboard series, and then obviously we can keep using it. If you guys have suggestions, let me know. I think I may make a new channel in Slack just for this, like almost as its own app to give thoughts to, versus blasting you guys on the team channel for this. But yeah, we'll keep testing it out, and at least it's kind of in a space where we could start to use it, I think. And now it's less of a concept and more of something that's like V1, I would say. So I think what I'd love to do next maybe is kind of almost start at the very beginning of this project, and just like if you guys are starting a side project, kind of here's how in 1 hour I would go from like a totally blank repo to like something deployed with auth and some basic database in Supabase. Basically walk through like Mark Lau's like a ship fast template and some quick things you can do to fix it, like integrating, Google Auth and things like that really, really quick. Because that stuff you shouldn't be spending any time on. You should be spending your time on like the actual application and what problems you're solving and such. So yeah, definitely worth it. I think the idea of like just building something yourself in your own is just, it gets you through the reps of going from nothing to something. And the other thing that was very helpful was when I'm working on my own thing, I found myself going back to the same tools of using the framing, to use the shaping, to use the task grid. It's a great test to see if those things are actually useful, because when you're using your own stuff, you're like, oh, I'll just hack it or vibe code it or whatever. But I found like, oh, I actually feel overwhelmed by this project. Oh, well, there's a tool for that. Like that's what the shaping's for. That's what the task grid's for. So I felt more confident in our system as we went into it. So all good stuff. But thanks for joining us, guys. And yeah, we'll jump into something else next week. Thanks.
That was great stuff.
Good stuff.
See you guys.
Thank you.